But getting back to P.O.R.C's message, like I worried about him because the message,
well,
it was scary because he's like, oh, I got a lot to talk about this week. I'm going to read it to you verbatim. We asked him, well, what's wrong?
MacDonald is dead.
I didn't ask him what's wrong. I said,
are you all right?
I was like, well, damn, what you got to talk about?
He said,
there's plenty of stuff to talk
you're
about.
thankfully COVID-free. Trump could have instigated armed conflict with China. The rally supporting January 6 participants is this Saturday. Savage Garden's 1997 hit Truly, Madly, Deeply is still genius. Norm MacDonald died, and the death toll due to COVID is still rising in Knox County.
The Savage Garden thing.
And we thought he was done. No. We thought you were done.
A little bit.
We thought you were done.
Yeah.
And then then he sends the link of the Republican lawmaker who attends an anti-vaxxer rally just days after his wife dies of COVID. And then we thought, okay, he can't post anymore.
No,
he
comes back.
posted the link of Rudy Giuliani
That
being
was just funny.
That was pretty funny.
No, that was hilarious. Being drunk on 9/11.
It was hilarious, but it was also very, very sad to me.
Oh no, it's extremely sad. Yeah.
But that okay, so
isn't it amazing what 20 years does?
No, it was sad to me because at first I thought, man, could you imagine like if you were a survivor or one of someone who sees the reverence that is of that day.
Yeah.
And you went and saw that. But then I had a moment, I was like, they're not going to see Giuliani speak.
No.
They're not there for that.
No. And you know where Trump was on 9/11? I mean, I'm talking this 9/11.
He was watching Evander Holyfield get his 58-year-old self get in a boxing match.
Exactly. He was at a boxing match.
But he also,
doing color
I was like,
at a boxing match in Las Vegas.
He wasn't just there.
Yeah.
He wasn't just visiting.
And meanwhile, all my Republican friends were posting an old-ass picture of him standing with NYPD police saying, that's my president. And I didn't get into discussion with him, but I wanted to say, do you know where he is right now? All the former and current presidents are at 9/11 memorials. He's in Las Vegas getting ready to do color for a fight.
You know, when you make Bush look like a reasonable, sensible person, even though he gave us the revisionist history of why we went to the Middle East for war. We were just going to look past that. But when he pointed out that we are growing extremists here, like we went to go fight there, we're just in a terrible, scary time.
Isn't that frightening? It's frightening. When you think of George W. Bush, just a nice old guy, when you finally want to have that beer with him that they talked about 20 years ago when we elected him, you know, when you finally want to have that beard with him, that's a problem.
You know, that means that the last 5 years have been truly traumatic for him.
Yeah, it really hurts. We'll talk about this. Quick obit, of course. Norm MacDonald passed away this week. He is our promo picture this week. He's one of those guys whose comedy I didn't always agree with because sometimes he went over the edge and it was hard for me. It's hard for me to don't really like that.
To me, I really enjoyed it because I knew...
He does it ironically. He's not being rude. He's not actually being rude.
We're at a place now where everyone's like, oh, they're trying to censor everything just a comedy. But he had a fine way of being in on the joke when he was acting like he wasn't. Colbert has this kind of personality.
He has the same
to where they appear not to be in on the joke, but they totally are because you can kind of see. And so I actually enjoyed his comedy. It wasn't slapstick, and he came out in the 90s when that's when he really rose to prominence. Was the 90s when slapstick, Chris Farley, Will Ferrell, Jim Carrey, like that type of funny humor.
It was hyper. It was hyper. It was the era of the hyper comedy,
and he was on the opposite pole.
He came out.
Still just as funny.
I always called him the lazy Jerry Seinfeld because Jerry Seinfeld did observational humor. It's like, what is it? What is it about airplane peanuts? Whatever. And Norm MacDonald come out, hey, you get those peanuts on the plane? You ever get those? And why?
He always
and that would be his joke. That'd be the whole joke. Why do you get jokes? Or why do you get peanuts? What'd you say, Pork?
I said he always comes off as the guy that you don't want to have a conversation with.
You don't. Exactly.
I didn't appreciate him when I was younger.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't. But then as I got older and I was watching his stuff, I thought he was hilarious.
His Weekend Update, you never got his brilliance on Weekend Update until
as a kid. Until I grew up, and then I realized, oh, that is really, really actually smart.
And I went back and I look and I hold, when it comes to Weekend Update, there were 4 anchors that hold the gold standard. And that's Dennis Miller, Tina Fey, Seth Meyers, and him. Norm MacDonald. They are the ones that really like took that thing by the horns and made it into something on that
I never
show.
realized how much he ripped on O.J. Simpson.
It was
Dear
great.
God.
My favorite
Just
one,
like openly accusing him of murder.
I was going back and listening to and watching some of his old clips this week, and I came across one where he's talking about that the book company that published the Dr. Seuss books were celebrating their 50th anniversary, and they were going to do a re-release of some of the best Dr. Seuss books. The first one was going to be Green Eggs and Ham, and O.J. is Guilty. That's what it was called.
Yes.
Yeah.